Hey, Facebook, I am going live one more time to give you any additional support about starting or growing or shifting business to an online business, especially right now. This is something I teach all the time, but wow, it's been a very busy week for me. It seems like a lot of this is in demand. Obviously, we all see what's going on. So this is a time I am leaving some open space to ask me any questions you have about creating money on the internet, shifting your business, how to use Zoom the right way, how to communicate with people, how to start an online business, how to create income during all this. I'm here to answer all your questions. Just ask me anything. You can type it in the comments. But in the meantime, I'm just going to ad lib and talk about getting creative. So it's interesting. I've been putting myself out there, offering people any support with their business, with Zoom, with growing an email list, with communication, how to stay in business and essentially not go under during this whole time of crisis, as I guess you could call it. And it's interesting. A lot of people have never used Zoom before, which I was like, wow, I just assumed everybody did because I've been running my business on there for years. But of course, I'm not dumb. I know not everybody's used Zoom, but I've helped a lot of people out to understand how Zoom works. So one thing I would suggest is if you want to start doing online classes or online communities or online meetings, online groups, online events. Hey, Sandra. To do, by the way, I'm taking Ask Me Anything, answering all your questions, anything you want. So if you have any questions about an online business or growing business, just ask me. But Zoom, the way it works, there's different levels of paid accounts. You can use the free account, but it has a lot of limitations. I've actually never really used the free account, so I don't even know really how it works. But essentially, the first level, you can have 100 people on at once. Today, one of my favorite yoga teachers had yoga and had 75 people on there, and it was donation based. And obviously, if all 75 people donate even $5 or $10, like that's pretty good money for her. So this is actually offering a lot of opportunities for people. Someone else who runs a local workout studio had to shut down, a gym, and she was asking about how do I teach, like what do I do? Which platform do I use? Because of course, she's thinking YouTube and then, probably not sure about Zoom. I told her about, it's like you can do multiple things. You can do scheduled social media lives, but you have to think about your audience. For her, I'm pretty sure her audience really isn't like hanging out on Instagram or Facebook that much. So for her, I said what I would do is offer up Zoom classes and just, do donation based right now, maybe for a couple weeks. I think eventually everybody will have to go back to asking for money. Just so you know, people are still making money even right now. One of my clients actually just got a new client. My business has actually picked up. It's gotten busy. I mean, it was always busy the last few months, but don't let just, this get you completely down, because this doesn't necessarily, like, yes, I get the reality of it. This is affecting a lot of people, but, let's make lemonade out of the lemons. There's a lot of opportunities here, especially for those of you who've been thinking of starting a business or thinking of going online or wanting to start an online community or wanting to teach something or whatever it is. If you have had ideas for a long time, like just use this as an opportunity. The one thing that I find interesting, I think I'm going to write an email about this next week. I find it really interesting how fast everybody's jumping onto this. Like everybody's like, oh my God, I need to be online. And yeah, of course, like to me, this is something we've all needed to be online like a long time ago. Of course, I always teach in-person events, in-person workshops as well, because I do believe that in-person is also important. And we're going to go back to being in person one day, you guys. Like this isn't lasting forever. And if it is, then nothing really matters because then we're all dead. I shouldn't say it like that, but seriously. Oh, thanks for the hearts. Mwah. But so I really want people to start getting creative. And here's the thing that I've seen also, I mean, even with my own partner, who I love very much, I've seen some people do this thing where they're thinking about what to do and what to offer and how to put it out there and what platform is right. And it's like, you guys just go do it. Don't wait. Just do it yesterday. Like I don't know about you guys, but I was already doing a free class on Monday evening. And even that I thought was late. I was like, I should have done it on Friday last week. But, don't give this a lot of your head and your thought. You have to just go create it. So Monday in my other video, which you can see on my Facebook, a lot of people were asking about like, how do I start an email list? Or what about my website? Or I've been thinking of teaching this and now maybe I should just teach it. And I'm like, yeah, just go do it. Make it simple, make it easy, make it digestible. You know, you're welcome if you're not comfortable asking for money yet, like do donation base. Like just think of all of this as a beta test. Like this is a great testing ground for whatever it is you were afraid to put out there all these years. Like what do you have to lose right now? Especially for those of you who are not making any income doing what you used to do. Like, okay, so here's an example. Hey Bex, how are you? Mwah. And actually, I really want, so my hairstylist, Corinne, who is Facebook friends with me and actually Instagram too, I was like, I hope Corinne sees this because I'm going to actually reach out to her and suggest this. So Corinne, I desperately need a haircut and I was about to book an appointment with you and come into the city, you know, like I was going to book the appointment last week. And then of course the city is at a standstill and I know she's not in her, hair salon. So I'm thinking outside the box. Like the last few days, I actually ordered myself a pair of scissors because I really need to cut my bangs. And Corinne knows that I don't really trust a lot of people to even cut my bangs. And I gave this thought. I was like, okay, what could I do? I think I could go to a hairdresser around here because I think they're still open, but I'm not sure. And then I thought about it and I was like, or, maybe there's a way Corinne could actually teach a simple class on how to trim your damn bangs during this quarantine. And I know this is like the least of my concerns. This is the least of anyone's concerns, but honestly, like it eventually will drive me crazy. So I ordered a pair of hair cutting scissors. I don't know what you even officially call them, but like sharp ass scissors to cut my hair. And what I'm going to do is offer her money to guide me through the process of trying to trim my own bangs. And yes, I will probably screw them up. But it's getting creative. And you know what it is? It's also giving her an opportunity. Like she has an opportunity to stay in business, to be connected to her clients, to maybe even start something outside the box. So we're all not supposed to go out, and I know that, but she lives in Staten Island and I live in upstate. And essentially I haven't been exposed to anything and I don't think she has. And I also thought of this, like, what if we wait 2 weeks and we know that we're healthy? She doesn't leave the house. I don't leave the house. And what if I got a group of people together who all need haircuts and then just brought them all together in one place and she could drive up here and haircut like 6 people back to back and make a bunch of money? There's so many different ways of seeing this. That's one thing. If you ever have studied a course in miracles, there's a saying about help me see this differently. A miracle is a shift in perception. And I know this is not, I don't like this situation as much as anyone else. It's upsetting. It's annoying. Hey, Ruthie, Ruthie is a prime example. She's doing really creative, interesting things. Like, let's do matchmaking in this quarantine. Let's start a dating business. Let's connect people. Let's create community. Someone else I'm friends with started a creativity Facebook group. I personally am like, I've had a lot of Facebook groups. I can't really join anymore, but what about a creative gathering or, an online gathering? Someone else I know was talking about, wow, right now everybody's probably going to want to grow a garden, which is essentially what I was going to do anyways. But now I'm like, damn, I'm like really, really going to grow a garden. Like there's no questions asked because we all see like our food security in the US. But, and I mentioned this during Monday's video about this idea of, why isn't someone out there doing online growing or online gardening courses or online gardening like programs, like for people who don't really know what they're doing. There's a lot of people who would actually just like to learn one-on-one like this or in a group like this online versus reading the 12 books that I bought. And I'm not making that up. I think I bought like 12 different books around like the exact same thing, like gardening in the Northeast and living off of a 1/4 acre. And actually I have 3.5 acres, but so I really wanted this to be about getting creative, like just starting to think outside the box and also start to think about, what will happen if and when things normalize. And I don't believe things are ever going to really normalize because I think this is going to create a lot of shifts in the way we all show up in the world and the way we all do business and the way the world is run. But, just start thinking like, what is it you want to create out of this? Like, hasn't this made you look at things in a different light and made you question like, okay, if my secure job was taken away from me in an instant, what would I really be doing with my life? And I have been, my friends that are coaches and doing whatever they love, healers and online entrepreneurs, the people out there that are already doing this have been preaching the same thing I have for many years. Is like, you guys, why are you doing something you already are misaligned with? And when we're in a situation like this, it kind of wakes up a lot more to that and starts to have you question, like, well, if everything was taken away from us all at once, like, what would you really be doing? Like, what is it you really, really dream of doing? And how is it you want to go start that? And, you know, I, as a business coach who helps people start and grow businesses, mostly online businesses, I've been hearing these excuses for years that I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the resource, like I don't have the know-how, I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, you guys, oh, hey, Robin, hey, Jesse, you guys, I'm doing a Ask Me Anything, answering any question anybody has. So if anybody needs anything, also a lot of people have been coming to me for just basic Zoom tech help. So if anybody has questions, yes, oh, Robin, thank you, see, beautiful sister. But no, it's really all about like, what's your excuse now? Like I said this to one of my clients in my group program the other day. She said she was a little nervous about going, putting herself out there and telling people about her new offerings, even though she's already been running these amazing women's circles for a long time. And I was like, well, what is it that you're afraid of now? Like right now, there's a lot more to be afraid of than putting yourself out there, right? Thank you. Thanks for all the loves. So you know, and this is what I've been trying to wake up in people for a long time. It's like, what does it take? Hey, Katie, were you on yoga today, Katie? So our favorite yoga teacher did this amazing yoga class and had 74, 75 people on there. And I was like, and I helped her set it up. But I was like, there's a chance you could actually make more money teaching yoga like this than you do in real life, you know, like in-person classes. And there she was with 75 people, and she like only advertised it on her social media, and 75 people giving anywhere from $0 to $20 each, like that can add up pretty well, right? So I'm just really encouraging everybody to take this opportunity to take a deep breath and question everything in life. Like literally question, like, what if the world actually does completely change from this? Which I am one of those believers, and I'm sure some of you watching who are very awake and in tune with what's happening and have kind of known that something like this was bound to happen, especially for us medicine people. Like the medicine has shown me this for many, many years, that something was about to shift. I was just kind of hoping it would happen when I was a lot older. And I was hoping it would be a lot more gradual and easier. But, you know, like life, there's always a lesson in everything. Everything is happening for us. So I do believe there's actually a lot of amazing gifts that are going to come out of this, not for us personally, but for the entire planet, for the way we do life, the way we show up, the way we lead, the way we, you know, live in balance with the earth and each other. And yes, and what we do for business, you know, it's like, why spend your life suffering away doing something you don't like for the feeling of being secure, and then all of a sudden it's taken away from you in an instant? And the reality is nothing ever is secure. Like I'm not secure, you're not secure right now. I keep saying, I'm like, the only people who are pretty secure are maybe like nurses, doctors, and like my UPS guy. Thanks, Robin. Yeah, Robin, you're a beautiful medicine woman. I'm sure you totally know what's up here and what's been up. And you know, it's hard to be the voice that's saying this. Like, hey guys, if you're not willing to wake up now, like when will you wake up? And I know there's been a lot of spiritual leaders out there saying this, so it's not just me. I'm not just like the random person speaking about something, but you know, if you stop to use this as an opportunity to pause and actually question everything, like question the world, like, hey Jenny, mwah. I keep saying even the whole toilet paper thing, like this really gets me, because we're such, like, those of us in this Western, you know, privileged world that we live in are like stocking up on toilet paper, and I'm like, first of all, like technically no one needs toilet paper. This planet does not need toilet paper. It is not a human need. You don't need toilet paper to survive. It's a privileged item that we've created to make our lives better and easier. But if you traveled around a lot of third world countries like I have, you know, there's a lot of societies and, you know, countries that don't necessarily use toilet paper. They don't even have the luxury or the money for it. You know, and there's millions of ways around it. And even last year when I was buying, so I quit using paper towels eons ago. And I use just these like really inexpensive, I think they're called like bar cloths. And I use them. Oh, thank you, Jenny. I love you too. Jenny, if you have any questions, please ask. Same with you, Robin. So I just use cloths and use them over and over, and then I wash them, and then I use them again, and then I don't have to waste paper towels and waste money, and it's also way more sustainable than just going through a roll of paper towels over and over and over. So when I heard about this toilet paper thing, which of course made the news everywhere, I was like, like last year when I was searching so I got rid of bags completely. I quit using pretty much all like saran wrap and tin foil, and I only use reusable bags. And now there's these amazing people all over Etsy that are making like, reusable lunch bags and then produce bags. And then I saw one of the women that I bought from was selling this stuff that she called family paper. Yes, splash water in their butts. Exactly my point. I'm like, yeah, I guess people haven't really been to India or any other third world country. And yeah, where you get a bucket and a hose if you're lucky, or like a bidet if you're really like, if it's like luxury. But, they were selling this thing called family paper where you just reuse this cloth, like squares of cloth over and over, and you wash it and then it like rolls back up onto a roll. And I was like, wow, that's actually brilliant. It's kind of, it requires a little more maintenance, and yeah, it's like a slightly gross thing, but actually it's not. It's like, women, like, I don't know, there's probably a whole bunch of women out there who use the moon cup, and it's pretty much the same idea, and that maybe the first time is kind of gross, but after that I was like, man, this thing is a game changer. It's been a life changer since I switched that eons ago. So anyways, why am I talking about all this in relation to business? I don't know. But the whole point is that, this is a time to really step outside of your fears and your head and how am I going to do this? Or is it going to look good? You guys, right now, even someone I love who I follow sent around, a survey asking like, what is it that you guys want, need? And I was like, you know what, just do it. Like, because you can essentially do this every day. So I went and said, hey, I'm just going to do an ask me anything and answer your questions. I sent an email to my list on Sunday. I sent another email on Monday, got a bunch of people on here, did it on all social channels, did it on Zoom. And I had no agenda. I was just like, you know what, let me just show up in service. And for those of you who, God, this is really cutting out, huh? Oh, I'm only on 2G, maybe that's why. For those of you who have ideas with like what to do or how to get your business out there or how to teach something or something you want to share, stop overthinking it and just go, like just put it there, be imperfect. The world does not need doing everything perfectly right. It's about just giving and showing up from this love and service and just wanting to share your gifts. Like that's essentially all this is about. Like all I'm doing is sharing my gifts. I'm really gifted at the business thing. I always have been since I was a kid. It comes very naturally to me. I love it. Yes, I infuse a lot of my mindset, my spirituality, my medicine work, all this into what I teach, but essentially this is what I'm really good at. So I'm here to show up in service. If anybody watching, I know there's a handful of you, if any of you have questions, I was like, God, I really want someone to challenge me with a question that I don't know an answer to. I haven't gotten one yet. I usually can come up with something. I've always been able to do this, and this is how I accidentally became a business coach, was I've always been able to see things that a lot of people aren't able to see. Not psychic realm, although that too, but more just like seeing things from a different perspective that not a lot of people could think of. Like my hairdresser is probably freaking out right now, and I get it. I would be too. But then I'm like, well, you know what? Like, what if there's a way to get super creative, What if, I'm not going to sit here and promote seeing each other in person, but like, what if she just gave haircuts out of her home to people that were actually young and healthy and totally free of anything and who haven't left their home in 2 weeks? Like, there's a million ways around this. And we also have to remember that this is not going to go on forever. There is going to be a way out of it. We cannot live in a bubble the rest of our lives. And if that's really what happens, then absolutely nothing we're doing right now would really matter. Because then no one will have anything and we will actually not be able to survive as a human race. So I really encourage everybody to really get creative and think outside the box and just do it. And if you need help with any technology or communication or learning how to use Zoom or understanding which platform to put things on, just let me know. Type in the comments here, ask me any questions. But essentially, you guys, don't overthink it. Use the platform where your audience is. Use the platform that you enjoy the most. Like, the woman who asked me about the platform, I know that her main form of communication with her clients is through email. And I also know the age range of her clients range from, kind of like 30s maybe to like women in their 70s. So, when I thought about it, I was like, well, most of your clients are probably not on Instagram. And if they are, they kind of probably don't know how to look at your story or whatever. So if I were you, I would just say, hey, we're doing workout classes Monday and Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. and I'm offering another one at 12 p.m. or whatever. Just like pick 4 slots, like make it very simple and just say, here's the Zoom link, show up whenever you want, give a donation. If people there's one of my yoga centers is charging their regular class price. I get it. I think eventually people are going to start having to charge their regular price. But, for now, I like the idea of doing donation-based yoga or donation-based breath work, donation-based meditation. A lot of my friends are just not asking for any money and they're just offering up their gifts and their talents. Oh, hey, Miyoko, how are you? So if anyone has any questions, please ask me. I just wanted to show up in service, share what I had, and talk about really getting creative. And, if you've been wanting to do that thing that you've been thinking about for so many years, just use this opportunity to go do it. And if you've been wanting to grow an online business, I would just do it yesterday. Start on it now. I mean, this is essentially why my clients are sticking with me. This is why my clients are with me now. This is how I've built a business. This is how I've made all my money. I pretty much do everything. It's pretty much 99% online. A few times a year, I'll do an in-person workshop. That's pretty much it. And it's worked pretty well. So far, I have not been affected by this. Even my partner who does mostly in person has not been that affected by it. Maybe a little bit, but it's not an affection, it's a shift. So I'm telling everybody to really start thinking of this as a shift and a new way of thinking, a new perspective. A shift in perspective is a miracle. So let me know if you need anything, if you have any advice, questions, tips, any online support you need, Zoom help. But otherwise, I really commend all of you for getting really creative and coming together as a community. There's so many people doing really amazing things out there. I've been invited to online dance parties and online breath work and meditation. I was even invited to a guided half-day retreat. I was like, oh my God, I actually wish I would love a meditation retreat right now. I've been so busy that I'm like, wait a second, I was looking forward to not talking to anybody, not doing anything, but I've actually been pretty busy. I guess you can imagine why. So, hey, Tristan, how are you? I'm answering questions. If you have any questions, I'm doing it on Facebook, but I'm also on Instagram. Tristan, where are you? Anyway, so please reach out to me. I just wanted to offer up any help and just wish you all the best and stay positive because, yes, even though there's a reality and the fear and the stress, and the only thing it does is lower your immune system. So why not just stay positive and make the best out of this and actually look at this as a wake-up call to creating a different world and living life in a different manner and questioning everything. So I commend you all for being here. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thanks, Alejandro, for joining. Just comment in the box if you like this or if you want to see more of this. I'm happy to offer this until people don't want it anymore. But I love you all. Have a good one. Bye.